Hello, hello. I'm just jumping on here really quick because I got me some beads to add. So I am going to go over how to put them on. So I'm going to start with this one. So first and foremost, if you get your beads and they are not anchored in at the end, and by anchored I mean either some form of a knot or a bead is knotted on the end, please knot them before you get started with this process. All right. So first thing, what we doing? We making sure we know where we want them, so we can do our size. For me, since I got a little gap right here, I'm going in this area. So once we know where we're going to be tying our beads, we gotta make sure your beads are tight. No gaps, no gaps. Why don't we want gaps? Because we want our beads and our string to be protected. Also, gaps may cause pinching. Okay, so boom, boom, boom. I'm going. I said where I said I'm going here. Okay, so we gonna do what? Make our first tie. Hold it. Make a second tie. Some people at this point may cut it off to make it easier to tie. That's on you. Drop your string through that first loop. All right, now again, before you get that knot, because sometimes they will slide a little loose, make sure you got it where you want it. Do not, do not, do not tie your first knot over a bead. They will not stay tied. Do not. So for me, I like to hold mine with my arm to keep them in place. Now we got our first knot. Now this varies from beader to beader, person to person. However you like to do yours, that is up to you. So now that I got mine where I want them, some people, I'm going to cut this excess off right quick. So just so I can show y'all something right fast. So I'm going to go here for me and cut off what I do not need. I have my first knot anchored, so they're not going anywhere. Excess, depending on how you tie them, you may have an excess to use for whatever you like. I should have a bow right here, but I don't. So excuse me. I get rid of this excess. All right. So with this part, I just make multiple knots. Some people like to kind of divide the string up and knot it. That's fine as well. So we're going to do that just so I can show you. By divide the string, we're just going to divide it, make kind of some knots in between. However you want to do those knots, that's fine. That's just extra security. So some people do that. And if you choose to do that, that is fine as well. Me, I'm just a multiple knotter. That works for me. Mine don't come loose. I would say if you have the nylon, because some of my sail strings are with the nylon, is not going to stay. So you got to tie it. Multiple knots. If you do like one little knot and be like, boom, I'm good to go. No, that knot may come loose. Now see with me, because I have multiple knots, I just broke my string. But guess what? My thing is secured already, so I don't got nothing to worry about with that. But because I did break my string, and I want to make sure that my knot is secure, I'm going to make another knot with the extra string. Divide it up. Boom, boom, boom. Now I'm using cotton thread. I am going to switch over to polyester. While I'm using cotton, you can burn it, but be careful because this is going to go up in flames if you do. So be careful. Make sure you're ready to stop it. I do not want y'all to burn yourself at all. But for me, this is good enough. I always leave a little extra just so if you cut it too close, it could potentially come loose. So that's my boopity boop boop boop. Another fun one to my collection. We're gonna run through this one more time. One more again, y'all. We're gonna run through this one more again. Where do I want this one? I think I might go in here as well. Now my little hearts that say made with love, I try to keep them on it long because I put one on this one I did. So I do that. I'm just finding where I want it. Again, making sure I got enough beads. This one I made a little shorter because it's for me, so I kind of know how big I am. But I could have left a little more. But okay, first knot. What we doing? Again, first knot. Sometimes I do two just to keep everything in place. And when I mean two, I mean I just wrap around twice. Keep everything in place. Drop that through. Make sure it's no gaps. Again, me, I hold it with the arms to keep it in place. No gaps, nice and secure. Get rid of the excess. Get rid of the excess. Again, I only get rid of the excess after I have my first, really secure knot. Again, if you want to divide your strings up and knot them, a lot of people do this. I mean, I guess it adds some benefit to keep them from coming loose. I haven't had this problem with cotton string. So if you do get one that's nylon, that might be a method for you. The cotton though, normally just maybe 4 to 5 knots. You good to go. Leave a little excess. 4 to 5 knots. Again, leave a little excess. And that's kind of why I don't like dividing it as well, because I need to know where my original knot is at, and you kind of get rid of that when you do that. But there's nothing wrong with it. And again, for nylon, I suggest you guys do that. So a couple of the ones I still got floating around that's nylon, those are, again, a lot of the cell strands. So if you get one, you may want to do that method. But for the cotton, just maybe 4 to 5 knots work just fine. Just fine to secure it. Just a couple knots. Like, there's not much to it. The hardest part, I feel like, with tying is ensuring you don't have gaps in your beads, and that's an imperative one. Also making sure you don't knot over a bead. That's an imperative one. If you accidentally tie your knot over a bead, it's 9 times out of 10 gonna work its way loose after you showering with it and all of that. So, be mindful of that. Again, if you don't know how to tie them, Muslim or not, please come to me to buy them. I have a whole place where there's just going to be me and you, no men, and I can tie it. I don't like tying them at night. I can't see y'all outside, so just come on over, y'all. Gas going back down. It ain't that serious. But yeah, so boom. At first, when I was strong arm, so don't mind that. But I mean, it's gonna stay where it's gonna stay. And then like me, I leave a little bit because after I shower a few times, that's gonna be that. With this one, I should have paid a little more attention because of how the design is. But I'm good to go. So I'm gonna pin this one so y'all can go back and reference it for how to tie your strands. I hope I gave you guys good enough directions, but please, please, please feel free to reach out to me directly if you have any other further questions. But I'm going to pin this one on the page so you can reference it for your tying needs. All right, I love you guys. Bye bye. Remember, pretty girls get wasted. See you later.